If you've been dating a woman and she says certain things to you, I don't care how much you like her, you should take your shoes, your pride, and your sanity and leave. I'm not talking about small arguments or harmless jokes. I'm talking about phrases that reveal something much deeper, the kind of words that expose her mindset, her intentions, and the level of respect she has for you as a man. Most men ignore these warning signs because they're blinded by attraction, love, or the fear of being alone. They convince themselves that she didn't mean it, or it's not that serious. But here's the truth. Women rarely say damaging things by accident. When a woman speaks, she's revealing how she truly sees you, even if she tries to hide it behind a smile or a sweet tone. You see, female psychology is fascinating. Women are masters of subtle communication. They can tell you something in a soft, almost caring way, but underneath it's a loaded bullet aimed straight at your confidence and self-respect. And the moment you let it slide, you're training her to keep disrespecting you. This isn't about being paranoid or overreacting. It's about understanding that words are windows into a person's true nature. If she says these 5 specific things, it's not just a red flag. It's a full-on alarm bell that you should never ignore. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to listen for, why these phrases are so dangerous, and how recognizing them early can save you from years of wasted time, emotional damage, and a relationship that slowly destroys you. Gentlemen, some of you are already hearing these words in your current relationship, and if that's the case, you might have a decision to make. You're too sensitive, one. You're too sensitive. The disrespect disguised as a joke. When a woman tells you you're too sensitive, it's almost never about you overreacting. It's usually about her avoiding accountability. This phrase is one of the most manipulative ways to dismiss your feelings, and it's not said to help you toughen up. It's said to make you doubt yourself. Here's why it's dangerous. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect and the ability to communicate openly. If you bring up something that bothers you and her response is to laugh it off or accuse you of being too emotional, she's not trying to understand you, she's shutting you down. The deeper problem, over time you'll start questioning your own reality. You'll hesitate to speak up when something bothers you because you've been conditioned to think your feelings don't matter. This is exactly how respect in a relationship dies, not in one big fight, but in small repeated moments where your voice gets silenced. In female psychology, this is a subtle power move. By making you feel like the problem, she avoids responsibility for her actions, and the moment you accept this treatment, you're telling her it's okay to keep crossing your boundaries. Let's just say, imagine you've been waiting for her at a restaurant for 40 minutes. She shows up late without calling. You calmly say, "I don't like being kept waiting like that." Instead of apologizing, she smirks and says, "Wow, you're too sensitive." It's not a big deal. That's not an innocent comment. It's a deliberate shift of blame from her being disrespectful to you being weak. If you let that slide, it sets a precedent that your time, comfort, and boundaries can be ignored. Men, remember this. A woman who respects you will address your concerns, not mock them. If she's quick to label your boundaries as sensitivity, she's already showing you that your feelings rank low on her list of priorities. And if that's the case, the smart move is to walk away before you lose both her respect and your own. You should be more like. 2, you should be more like the comparison that kills attraction. When a woman starts comparing you to other men, she's not just making an observation. She's telling you that you're not enough in her eyes. Whether she's comparing you to her ex, a male friend, or even a celebrity, the underlying message is clear. You're failing to meet my standard. This is one of the most corrosive things a man can hear in a relationship because it plants a seed of insecurity. And once that seed sees you as the prize, she sees you as someone who needs fixing. For instance, you've been working long hours and haven't had time to hit the gym recently. One night, she casually says, "You should be more like James from my office. He's always so fit and full of energy." On the surface, it might seem like a harmless comment, but in reality, she's just told you that another man is doing something better than you, and she's implying you should be more like him. This isn't motivation, it's disrespect disguised as advice. Over time, these comparisons chip away at your identity until you're no longer the man she was attracted to in the first place. Men, hear me. The moment she starts putting other men on a pedestal above you, it's not a challenge to improve. It's a sign to leave before your self-worth is worn down to nothing. I don't need you three, I don't need you. The disguised power play, when a woman looks you in the eye and says, I don't need you. It might sound like independence, but in reality, it's often a subtle way of telling you that you're replaceable. On the surface, it may seem like she's just saying she can take care of herself, which is fine, but in the context of a relationship, the message hits deeper. You're not essential in my life. Here's why it's so destructive. Relationships thrive when both people feel valued and appreciated. When she constantly pushes the I don't need you narrative, it shifts the balance of the relationship. She's placing herself above you, making it clear that you're an option, not a priority. Think about it. You put in effort. You support her. You show up when she needs you. Yet she throws out this line as if all of that is meaningless. Over time, it chips away at your motivation to invest in the relationship. Why? Because no one wants to keep pouring energy into a person who acts like they can do just fine without them. The reality is, yes, no one should be completely dependent on their partner for survival, but there's a big difference between independence and emotional detachment. Independence says, I'm capable on my own, but I value what you bring into my life. Detachment says, I can replace you at any time. And here's the part that stinks. You'll start to notice it in her behavior too. She'll stop appreciating the little things you do. She won't acknowledge your effort. She'll make decisions without even considering your input. And she'll carry herself as if losing you wouldn't affect her in the slightest. Men, you can feel it when a woman genuinely values you. You can also feel it when she's subtly reminding you that she doesn't need you. The second one isn't strength. It's a warning that the emotional connection is breaking down. And if you ignore it, you'll find yourself in a relationship where you're present, but completely invisible. 4. If you loved me, you would. If you loved me, you would. The manipulation trap. This phrase might sound harmless at first, but make no mistake, it's one of the most effective manipulation tools in relationships. When a woman says, if you loved me, you would, she's not making a request. She's weaponizing your emotions to get what she wants. This isn't about open communication or expressing genuine needs. It's about cornering you into a position where you either give in or risk being labeled as unloving or uncaring. That's emotional blackmail, plain and simple. Now here's where I need to call some men out. Too many of you fall for this every single time. You think, well, I don't want her to think I don't love her, so I'll just do it. And before you know it, you're doing things you're uncomfortable with, spending money you don't have, or bending your principles just to avoid an argument. The problem is, the more you give in to this kind of pressure, the more it becomes her go-to strategy. She learns that all she has to do is question your love and you'll bend over backwards to prove yourself. That's not love, that's control. Love should never be measured by how much you can be manipulated. Real love is about respect, boundaries, and mutual effort. If you truly care about her, you'll show it through consistent actions, but actions you choose to take, not ones your guilt tripped into. Men, wake up. Every time you cave into this tactic, you teach her that your feelings are negotiable, that she can rewrite your boundaries if she applies the right emotional pressure. And the more you let that happen, the further you drift from being a respected partner and closer to being a controlled one. The moment you hear, if you loved me, you would stop, think, and ask yourself, is this love or is this manipulation in disguise? The answer will tell you exactly what to do next. You're lucky to have me. 5. You're lucky to have me. The subtle threat to your value. When a woman tells you you're lucky to have me, she's not giving you a compliment. She's reminding you that in her eyes, she's with you. At first, it might sound playful or even teasing, but make no mistake. This phrase plants a seed in your mind that you're the one reaching up and she's the one reaching down. Over time, this shifts the entire dynamic of the relationship. She begins to act like she's doing you a favor by staying while you start working harder and harder to deserve her. That's the trap. Instead of both partners valuing each other equally, you end up chasing her validation while she sits on a self-built pedestal. The truth is, healthy relationships aren't about who's luckier to have who. They're about mutual respect, shared effort, and the recognition that both of you bring value to the table. But when a woman constantly positions herself as the rare treasure and you as the fortunate finder, she's signaling that she sees herself as the prize to be won, not as an equal partner. Men, here's the hard truth. If you allow this mindset to take root, you'll spend your entire relationship trying to prove your worth, instead of simply being valued for who you are. A woman who truly respects you won't need to remind you that you're lucky. She'll make you feel lucky naturally, just as you'll make her feel the same. Gentlemen, you might not like to hear this, but it's the truth. Most men don't lose women because they weren't good enough. They lose women because they ignored the signs that she didn't respect them. Respect goes before love, and once it's gone, nothing you do will make her stay for the right reasons. Here's outro the controversial reality. A woman can love you and still leave you, but she will never leave a man she truly respects. If those 5 phrases are showing up in your relationship, you're not in love. You're in a slow breakup that hasn't been announced yet. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever been told one of these things? How did it play out? Drop your story in the comments. I read them all and I personally reply to as many as I can. Your experience might just be the one that wakes another man up before it's too late. And remember, the next video is going to expose the exact psychological tricks women use to test a man's strength without him even realizing it. You think you've never been tested? You're about to find out how wrong you are. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. I'll see you in the next video.